So hello friends, hello to everyone who watches my videos. Today we'll talk about contrasts. That is how to make our object, I'll show you this practically now, stand out. Be easy to read, as artists sometimes say. Yes, there is an object so that it doesn't blend in. For example, with the background so that it, doesn't blend in with other objects. Well, let's say we have something like a cube, right? Here we have a cube. Here it is standing on a plane, and some light is coming from somewhere above. And what do we have here? A shadow. That's clear. Well, actually, this is a falling shadow. Now I want to show you here. Let's say we have this. I'm drawing a little carelessly, so don't pay attention. Here it is, the falling shadow. Here. Then we have a shadow. Here. Well, let's say here it is. Here it is. This shadow. And here seems to blend in. Yes, it blends in. We need to highlight it somehow. Something should be darker, some should be lighter. For example, if our object is lighter and surface it's on is darker, then we draw the correct shadow darker. In tone darker. Contrast isn't just about boldly highlighting the contours with lines and that's it. Well, unless it's just a sketch, yes, a draft. But if we're working in realism, yes, then what do we want? So that there are no lines at all, like here. Yes, there are practically no lines. You can see the line here. To eliminate it, you need to nicely shade around it. But we're not talking about tone or the correctness of the drawing here. As far as chiaroscuro and the elements of chiaroscuro are concerned, there may be mistakes here. That's understandable. But now we're talking about contrast so that everything doesn't look like a mess and nothing blends together. That's it. And don't criticize me for this shadow now, because yes, it's drawn clumsily, incorrectly. Look, for example, look here, right here, yes. The light seems to be here, and here it seems to be everywhere. Here, to highlight this, we also lightly throw it like this, using lighter shading, and look this area. Well, the wall, yes, and these lines, the lines shouldn't be visible. Quit. The lines shouldn't be visible. What do artists do? Basically, they didn't just come up with this, they do it because that's how it is. Ordinary people don't, well, they don't see it, but artists simply take these areas where we have the background and part of the object that is white, light in tone, and add tones a little. They simply create a spot, and often from the direction of the light, where the light is. This spot is darker, darker than here. If they also shaky this part of the wall, they do it in a lighter tone. Again, I'm not really trying to. Now, yes, I'm doing it quickly, so you understand. That is here the darker tones, or to highlight these parts. You can even observe how this works, if in your apartment how it works. Up this, and you'll see that even white on a white background, if there's lighting coming from one side, you can see these contrasts. So you can use this rule This is where the light comes from. Yes, the light came from this. Where this side is dark, you understand? Where the light side is, we make the background darker to highlight, well, in tone, darker than these illuminated parts. Okay. Where is our dark part? Both the back or the object behind it is lighter in tone. Regarding the shadow, I'll repeat again, if that is to separate the shadow from the shadow, if the object is lighter in tone, the shadow is lighter, and therefore, well, in tone, the object is lighter relative to the plane on which it stands because of the cast shadow, or the object standing there that casts a shadow on that object or that object. Well, you understand, right? That is, if the object is darker, then here it is darker. If it is lighter, then here the shadow is lighter than. That is actually then the cast shadow. Well, for example, here, yes, the light is falling. It seems to be falling here and here. And how do we decide? We must determine, you see, where it is at a greater angle. So if the light is falling and the angle of incidence is here, a smaller angle, then it should be darker here than the plane itself. So we shade this this plane, right? If the light falls at a shallower angle, smaller, yes, smaller than on this plane, then this would be darker, this would be lighter. That's why we can solve this problem like this, right? Here, shade it a little. It will sink this plane lighter than this one, but we've already sort of highlighted it. That is, the light falls, illuminates this part more than this part because the angle of incidence is very small. That is, you see, here's a diagram for you now. So if we have a plane, the plane of incidence is this. Yes, here's the line. Well, the angle of incidence, yes, this one is greater than if there's some object standing there. Well, I don't know how to show it. Well, in this case, it falls like this. I'll draw a line like this, yes, and the light falls, and it falls at such small angle, right? That means little light hits, it kind of glides and will be darker when falling on this plane. The angle of incidence is greater, yes, so it's illuminated more. If there's a light bulb there, it's falling even at this angle, you see. This area will be lighter than this area because it's, well, it's not positioned as favorably toward the light. All this needs to be taken into account and understood. Let's draw something more beautiful. So look, we have white on a white background. What do we have there? A white heron or a crane? No, probably a heron. Well, we understand that we just make the darker parts. Like this, right? We don't really bother with anything here, but what should we do with the white parts? What should we do? That is lukoch. For example, where we have contrast, there's one wing and the other wing. Let that wing be in the shadow there, right? That is, we make it darker. Darker, but it can also be relative to this. Yes, darker. And the body is also in the shadow there. So a drop shadow, right? Right? That's how we'll do it. The drop shadow is on the wing and on the body. But we decided that we have what? And here it's darker, yes. The wing is darker than the body. Can you see it right in the picture or not? And our wing, of course, it's also completely dark. That is, it should be darker than the background. I'm not going individual shades now. Individual shades. Because you can work, example, here, make darker individual feathers, highlight them with tone, yeah, but somehow. Now I'm talking about the decisions we make, right? That is, look, here's the wing. Now separate the tail from the wing. We make it darker here. Here, he has some kind of feathers too. He's here. It's darker at the bottom. Viewer, see this part already lighter. Now it's darker here. We separate it from this part. It's lighter. Although you can do this a little here for volume. Tighten it a little like this. This part is either darker or lighter. I make it darker. See? That is, it is darker than. Let it be on top like this. Now we have a dark beak. And the eye here. Well, it's not that fierce, it's practically black. And here the head, yes, and then the neck are darker than this wing. What are we doing here? Here we shade a little so that it doesn't blend in with the background. Even so, we kind of show the thickness in the feathers so that it doesn't blend in with the background. Here are the feathers. But this wing is lighter than this one. And here we look. This part here can be darker. The wing is dark than the top, well, like the body. Here we can do this to highlight the white spot as if the light is falling from above. Okay, well, here we've decided that we have a falling shadow, right? Of course, it would be good if there was a background and we could highlight these white parts. Okay, we won't highlight them. This is how we monitor contrasts, yes. And of course, we can highlight more clearly to create more contrast, yes, as we say, along the contour, but not just a line, but a very clear contour. This is also important when we're shading so that the stroke doesn't go beyond the contour. Like here, for example, our object that we're Again, here I've highlighted, I'll show you now. That, this wing, yes, is darker. Then there's a stripe here. It's essentially this wing, but the light is hitting here. And from here, the shadow is going under the wing, you see? And here, of course, it's also a little darker and along the edge. So you have to hinge. Well, here the wing seems to have a certain thickness, yes, and that's why I created this dark elongated spot. Just like here, we get white. That is contrast. We separate the lighter section of the darker one. These boundaries must be clear. Yes. Here's a wing that's empty, right? There it is. They must be clearly readable, visible, readable by the viewer, and the artist must highlight them so that there's no confusion. Also here, yes, here it sort of blends in. Made it more contrasty. That is, this neck contrasts with the wing. That's how our heron turned out. Out.